Good morning, guys. It is February 2nd and a chilly 37 degrees out here in East Texas. Just woke up, did a little camping out last night just so I can get some things done today. Got the diesel heater running. I had it kicked off last night, but got a bit cold. Cranked it back up this morning. Let's see what it is right now. We've got 71 degrees and 49% humidity. Now that is about, I'd say at about 5'10" marker. Maybe a little bit shorter, 5'8" off the ground. So of course it's going to be a bit warmer up high with a little bit lower relative humidity, and vice versa on the ground. So today what we are doing is we are tackling the finish up of the roof. So now that the cold stuff, and I know that seems weird for most of you that are up north in the cold stuff, but here when it gets below 30 and then humidity stays as high as it is, it's just bitter cold out here. So update on the hunt this year, no luck, but I've got some plans for that this next year. Blind work and deer feeders, things like that. So anyway, on to today. What we are doing is we're trying to push through this last bit of the process of at least getting this room finished in. But before I do that, I want to get the ceiling painted. I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to flat black it. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to epoxy seal the floors. That is to prevent moisture from wicking through from the ground. Even though this is elevated off the ground, I want to prevent any moisture getting wicked through. Obviously, as you can see, humidity can be an issue. It's not terrible right now, but I want to stop that because I am going to put down epoxy to seal it, and then I'm going to put 3/4 inch foam board over it, and then I'm going to put plywood over the top of that. But before I do that, I need to do I need to do that in order for me to do the walls. So the goal for this year is ceiling painted, epoxy done, and then wall out at least the bedroom, even just to the face of this. Get from here all the way around to here, get my electricity hooked up, and get the bed off the floor. This one's bothering me quite a bit. We did upgrade. I've got a foam mattress in here, which is 1,000,000 times better than the air mattress. And any of you, probably everyone up north already knows this, but I was rocking a air mattress on the floor of here, and it was miserable. I did decide to throw down some of the foam board. There's that 3/4 inch foam board right there on the floor. I threw that down and was able to run one night as an experiment, and I could not believe how much more comfortable it was because I wasn't losing all of my heat through the floor. Last night was the first night I've slept on this foam mattress on the foam board, and it's substantially better. So I think will be even better if I get lifted off the ground. The plan is this thing will be high enough off the ground that I can get these boxes or totes when they have a lid on it I want them to be able to slide underneath the bed, also with a window unit. So seasonally, this will have a window unit that goes in right there. But in the cooler months, I'd like to be able to put it on this little Harbor Freight dolly, and I just want to slide it under the bed. And so getting to the point of finishing up the paint on the ceiling, because it's dumb for me not to go ahead and paint the ceiling before I put up panels on the side. And then also I want to epoxy the floor and actually get it up to the edge of this 2x, just in case something does spill at some time. It's not going to wick underneath into the 2x4 I don't know what you would call them, footer boards there. So I'd rather have those protected, so if any water does get down there, then it's not going to be sitting up against my little 2x2 footers under there. So what we are going to do is we are going to tackle the ceiling. And if you notice, it looks decent at the moment. Last night I did spend some time. As you could tell, there's a mess of foam shavings all over everything, unfortunately, because it just leaves a mess. But what we're doing right now is smoothing these out. So there was foam, I believe I had stopped about here on this room and scraped all of this here. And so last night I ended up scraping off the face of these 2x4s, and all I'm doing is doing this right here. Now it's a lot harder than just this because it's adhered into this wood, but I am just jamming the scraper, and then the stuff that is overhanging, of course I can't find my tool right now, but I have a knife that I cut off the sides. So when stuff is built up really thick, I just shave it off the side. Oh, here it is. So I use this knife, I don't know what it is, some kind of meat knife. But let's see here. If I have a piece of foam, say like this, and it sticks over a little bit, I'll go down the side and just flush it up with the edge of this 2x4. And so the plan is to get this as nice as I can, and also come along these edges, because after I cut it and scrape it, it leaves these little burrs, I guess, in the edge of the foam, and I want to get all those off so that they don't get stuck in the paint. But do as much prep as I can that's reasonable, and then prime it and paint it. I do have a Harbor Freight airless spray gun that I am going to be doing this with. I've got a gallon of primer and a gallon of paint, and I hope that is enough to get this all done. But yeah, once I get that sprayed, I will move on to the floors. I have not ordered the epoxy yet because I'm going to use a Boat epoxy. I don't remember if it was the Total Boat brand, but the plan is to get, depending on how long it's going to take me and when I'm going to make my next trip, because this is the plan, is to do this on the next trip, is to get this epoxied. But with the temperatures, like I said, it's 37 right now outside, but in 3 weeks it could be 85 outside. So I've waited to order that epoxy because there's a cold formula and a warm formula, and the cold formula I believe is below 70 and the warm formula is above 70. So we're going to find out what we're going to be doing with that once I get finished today. First task this morning is I'm going to be cleaning up some of this. I'm going to be bringing some stuff home to get it out of the way of our next projects. Taking the bags out, a lot of, first aid supplies, bedding, things like that. We're going to be loading that up and taking that home because now we are switching over from hunting camping mode into construction mode again. So I'll get back to you in a little bit, probably once I get this place oriented to get some work done. All right, guys, we're making some progress. So we are set up and ready for paint. Got some primer here and our flat black paint. And we are taped off. Took out what I could. Loaded up a bunch of stuff in the car. And this is what we are left with. So we are ready to get priming. I went through, did as good as I could to scrape all the little scraggly bits off. It's not perfect. It is a cabin and it is a ceiling. So it is what it is at this point, but I'm happy with so far how it looks with the prep. So now is the time to get after it and we will start priming. We'll see how it all looks once I've got it primed. Try out this new sprayer, the Avanti. This is a Harbor Freight airless sprayer. It's my first time to try this, so priming it right now, and then I'll swap over and get the paint going. And so we'll see how this turns out. So we are back and we have laid some paint down. This is our primer. Gotta say at the moment, it looked better the way it was, but I hope it's just all part of the process. Did lay it on a little thick in some places. Got some little drips I dabbed with my finger just to kind of move it around. Excuse the wind. I've got some fans set up, trying to dry this off. It was a little cool when I started and a little heavy, so it's taken a little bit longer than I planned. I do plan on getting on my actual coat today though. As you can see, most of this is nice and dry. Like, all that's dry. This is a tiny bit wet. You can see a little sheen in it there. So probably gonna let this go. Yeah, see, that was a little drip there. Probably gonna let this go another 30-45 minutes with these fans. I'll probably move them at least one more time, but they're doing a good job of throwing on that air up there and getting all this dried up. So I feel like we've got a really good base primer coat on here. And then once we get done with that, and we are using, so we go over here, it's this 123 Zinsser primer, and this is the gray, I believe. Yeah, gray for colors. I don't know if black counts as a color, but it did whenever I was purchasing. So and then this is the paint. I don't think it's the greatest of paints. It doesn't have a primer in it, but that didn't really matter because I was already planning on priming it, because I was unsure on how well paint sticks directly to spray foam. From the stuff that is dry, it feels like it's got some good adhesion to it. So like I said, I'm gonna let it finish up a little bit longer. There's just some spots. It's a little hard to tell on camera that's still got a sheen on it. It's been, I'd say about an hour and 45 minutes. But it's been a little cool. It started off in the 40s this morning. Once the heat went off, because I had to turn off the heat so I could get everything covered up. The room probably equalized out into the upper 50s. But right now, let's see what the room temp is at the moment. Yeah, so we're still looking at 66, and then look at that humidity, 73. So that's definitely causing me some trouble there, waiting on this, literally watching paint dry. So, but we'll give this about another 30, 45 minutes. Honestly, at that point, I'm hoping everything's stuck enough that I can start shooting a layer of flat black on here. And I will do my best to do this thin in 2 layers. This one I kind of was going for coverage, and in that process I made sure I hit everything at different angles, and I am not a professional painter, so I did go a little heavy. This time I'll go light, do more of a general pass, and then let that sit for a little bit, and then come back for another coat. So, all right, when you see me back, we'll be having black paint on the ceiling, hopefully. Well, it's getting late, but we are done. Not the prettiest thing at the moment. Ceiling turned out nicely. It'll look even better once I put birch tiles in these lights, right, or in these spots, and then the light will go in here, tile there, and a tile there. But does kind of look sorry at the moment with the black line around the room, but I didn't really want to spend time working on that because it will be covered by wood. So there'll be wood panels meshed right up against the edge of this, so you won't see any of this on the lower portion all the way through the room here. So, but word of advice, anybody else trying to do this, be prepared to have extra paint. I had just enough, and I have a little bit left over that I can do some touch-ups with. But if your spray foam is anywhere as lumpy as mine is, like this here, or let's see, like this stuff here, you have to hit it from every angle over and over and over. I walked it this way, back through, hit that side, walked back through, and ended up doing that at least twice. Because every time I turned around, I could see just spots, like in the edges. Oh, here we go. Right there. So from here, looks good. From here, looks good. But if I get right at there it is, that angle there. Now this will be inside of a light box. Panel, tile, whatever you want to call it, is going to be there, so I'm not actually worried about that one. But that's what I'm talking about, because I went ahead and sprayed them because I don't know when I'm going to do these tiles anyway, but ended up, oh, here you go. Yeah, those little white spots. And I'm telling you, I sprayed this over and over and over. It is what it is. I may get a little can of flat black spray paint and hit some places that I think I don't like that there. I'll probably hit again. But overall, it took a lot of time and a lot of trips back and forth, but we are golden. But this is the look I was going for. I wanted it kind of that industrial style look. So That light back there is actually where I'm going to have a like a 4-inch can light, or not can, canless light, I guess, LED will be there. One will be here and one will be here. So layout is similar, just a little raggedy at the moment, but that's it. That's what we got. Got everything in covered. Had to wipe down the fans, and well, everything. There is overspray on the floor. I'm not too worried about it. It is what it is. That's the overspray right there. You can see where I had my tarp covering my mattress. This is my brand new foam mattress. I did sleep on this last night here, and with my diesel heater on the lowest setting, it will keep this room at 78, which is a little higher than I'm comfortable with. If I was a little bit more intelligent, I would have probably cracked that window back there, or even cracked this one, just to bring in a little cool air to bring this down just a tad. Because if I could maintain this thing, this one does not have a temperature setting. It's just power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And I run it on the lowest setting, and I've seen that it will equalize the bottom of the room at 78. Up here, it'll be in the 80s. And when I have the fan on and I circulate it, it'll definitely be in the 80s. But what I'll have to try in the future, crack open this window so there's a little bit of fresh air flow in there on those cold nights, and see if that will tame this down just a little bit, so I can actually run it through the night, because I shut it off at about 1, and when I woke up at 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, the room was 55 degrees. Now it wasn't too bad, because I am now on insulation on top of a foam mattress, bundled up with some good bedding, so it was actually quite comfortable. But if this was an air mattress and that insulation wasn't there, it would have been quite miserable. So, gotta say, this thing was a champ today. What do we got left? 25%. So I ran at least one fan all day. Most of the time, in between paints, I had both fans going, both of these lights going, and I was using this paintless air sprayer to do all of the priming and all of the painting, and did exactly what I needed it to do. So we are now wrapping up, but feels good to be back on the project. The next thing that we are going to be working on is epoxy in the floor. I've been back and forth on doing it, not doing it. But if I'm going to insulate the floor like I did there, then I really need to epoxy it to seal out the moisture. Don't know yet if that's going to be the next step, because I am itching to get some panels up. I cannot wait to get my Birch wall panels up on this walls here. It'll be 3/4 inch birch, and I'm going to make sure I do this panel and this panel, and do the room so I can actually get a feel, and I'll probably actually do this light also, just so I can get a feel of how this is going to turn out. And it'll be so much more comfortable. It gives me the opportunity to finally build my bed platform. I know most people would probably say just finish walling out all of it, but I'm more excited about getting the bed off the floor, because that solves a lot of issues. One, I am 6'4" and 350 pounds. It's a long ways down, and two, it's cold down there. Like on the cold days, from down here to, let's say, 24 inches up, You might notice a 6-degree difference just from there to there, because the floor does get quite cold. Also, another big issue that I am excited to get taken care of is boxes. Once I get the bed platform up, which I'm waiting to do over the walls, I'm going to screw into these studs, build a floating bed platform from wall to wall, and I am going to have it high enough to put these totes, and also high enough to slide my window unit underneath the bed. And that will save me a ton of room. It's just stuff taking up space. Like this. This will get put away soon because, well, we're in East Texas, and right now it's great, but probably in about a month this will be obsolete for me. So that will get tossed underneath the bed there. So yeah, that's what we're working on, and that is 100% the goals before this hunting season coming up. Everything is kind of yearly or hunting season because that's its primary use right now. But yeah, get the floor epoxied, potentially get it walled out, build a bed platform, and then we might work on some shelving and things like that. Get the electric going in here, because right now we are running off of this and extension cords. But as you know, we are wired up. I'm just postponing it because I don't want to put on outlets and take them back off. But other than that, that's it. All right, got the first piece moved. I'll tell you what, for it to be 3/4 inch, it could be worse. But I'll tell you what makes this a world better is this little jobber here, Gator Lift. This isn't sponsored. Of course, nothing on this channel is sponsored because I'm just a little guy. But picking this thing up with this is so much better. There are some Chinese versions of these, and you know, get what you want. This one is all aluminum, and I think it's like maybe the name brand of these type of things, but it clamps over the top. Let's see, like this. And if I had a tripod or something, I'd show you what it looks like, but I can easily lift this piece. I mean, granted, it is probably somewhere in the 50-pound range, so maybe not everybody would be able to move these. But for me personally, I'm 6'4" and 350 pounds. I can move these around quite well, which that's going to help me. But it does look like after I adjust it in here, there's not going to be room to cut anything in here. So we're going to be moving it in, and it looks like we'll be moving them out piece by piece. And I'll just show you how beautiful this birch is if you've never worked with it. Cabinet grade, it's not Baltic birch, so now I do need to get it in. There's some spots already showing up from some sprinkles, but it is a beautiful, beautiful, smooth, flat piece. And I'll be picking the prettier side, facing that in, and then probably doing a polyurethane just to seal it up. Yeah, so that's what we're working on. Let me get back to it. All right, guys. Well, we're wrapping up. As you can see, got a beautiful sunset. It actually might be a little darker in person than it is on the phone, but I want to show you what we got done today. We are wrapping up right now because it's getting kind of dark. There is all of our plywood right there. Let me zoom out. There we go. That's what I haven't got up today, but this is where we're at. Let me turn this. We have got the back wall up. So I do have some touch-ups to do, which is fine because I had more touch-ups in other places. And so I tell you what, wrestling these sheets is a bit of a pain by yourself. But I got 2 in there. So I gotta say, I did a fairly good job centering this window and splitting the line, because we are 43 and a half there and 43 and 3/8 over there. Got the window cut out. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. I'll probably extend this out and then box it in, and then probably finish it on top with a window seal that sits on this. We'll see. I'm not sure how I'm going to quite finish that out, but I am quite happy that that is up. I tell you what, these little things, I thought about getting some, but I think it's DeWalt's got some that are about $130, and then Klein's got some on Amazon for like $100. And the DeWalt's a single for $130, $140. The Klein is like a set for like $100 or something like that. I don't remember. I got these. This is the knockoff Chinese ones, and they were about, I think they were like $20 for a set of them. I actually bought 2 sets just in case one broke, and they are lifesavers. As far as like getting my gaff right, as you can tell, I mean, there's a micro gap right there, but otherwise it's nice and tight all the way down. But yeah, so that's what we're working with right now. And that definitely makes the ceiling look much nicer. I cannot wait to get this bedroom completely walled in so it looks like that. Even with my scuffs that I've put into the ceiling, it looks so good. And then eventually I will run a I guess a molding, something around there, just to give it a little bit of character. We'll do the room, but I am excited for it to not look like this, and also to get these walls up so I can build my platform bed. It's going to go from wall to wall, and man, once these walls are up, I'm going to be working on that bed right away to get this thing off the floor. So it's a queen size mattress, and we'll get that up and have a nice comfortable place to finally sleep. You know, it's bad enough to, you know, here in East Texas, to worry about the heat and then the cold and the moisture, but I'll tell you what makes it way worse is sleeping down on the floor. So yeah, that's the setup. I am quite excited to get into this. I got one extra piece also. I got 9 total pieces, so 2, 4, 6. I don't even remember how wide these half walls are, but I think I can do 6, 7, 8, and then have enough to get my lights done, and then potentially you have half a sheet to go from here to there for my shelf back here. So hopefully that's I don't mess up any cuts, because like I said, these are getting kind of expensive. Still way better than I can get at the hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's. You're looking at like $70 a sheet for those, and I'm picking them up for $45. Well, he had them for $47, and I was like, hey, you know, he told me $45 a week ago, and so he went ahead and he said if I'm getting 9 of them, he'll still do the $45. So we picked those up. But yeah, so as you can tell, the sun is setting, and man, it is beautiful. One of these days I do need to get a video, because there is hardly any light pollution out here from the city, and you have a wonderful shot of the stars. So anyway, hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Give me some pointers. I don't care. Just you know, little interaction feels good. But anyway, God bless, take care, and until the next one.